Welcome, everyone. It's really a privilege to have you here. So we have prepared and we have been thinking about this GCLOG alumni and faculty panel for a while. And then we just decided to put it together just to make sure that you are informed about everything that is happening with the GCLOG program, the potential changes, etc. My name is Chris Mejia. I'm the director of the GCLOG program that stands for Graduate Certificate in Logistics and Supply Chain Management. I know it's a long string, so that's why we prefer to use the acronym. And this program, as you will listen today, is a program that offers the possibility for you to be part of the MIT community somehow. It's a program that is going to be able to provide you with the tools and the opportunities for you to grow your education in supply chain management, particularly with focus in emerging market economies. And in order to do that, I invited a few talented people from our cohorts that we have graduated from since the very beginning, 16 years already of existence of the program. And I'm going to be passing the word to them and also to our talented faculty who are going to join us today to discuss about the content of the program itself. So let me start passing the word to Alejandra. So Ale, would you like to introduce yourself? And then I'm going to be passing the word to the others in a moment.
Okay. Hi. Hello. My name is Alejandra Kurvich. I am from Argentina, but now I live in Croatia.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Ale. Could you please tell also like where you work at, the name of the company or the sector to the guys?
The sector, yes, I work a lot in the part of in Argentina, a lot in the part of supply chain management, in logistics, in the name of the company Arcor, and in Coca-Cola. And now I am the professor of the university there, Universidad Nacional de Córdoba. I continue there, and now I'm going to present then. This. And now in Spain, I work with like director of supply chain, and continues here in Croatia.
Oh, that's amazing. It's good to hear that you keep making, like an impact for emerging market economies, even if you are still you're like working from abroad. That's great. Thank you, Ale. I will pass the word now to Hadi. Hadi, you are a brand new graduate. Could you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, that's right. Thanks. Thanks, Chris. Yeah. So, hey, everyone. So, yeah, my name is Hadi. As Chris said, I just graduated from GCLOG program like 2 months ago. So, I'm fresh alumni, and I'm currently working for DHL as a global project manager for warehousing, specializing in WMS implementation. So, in the last I don't know, 5, 10 years, I've been living from different countries, different city, and always working in the supply chains, technology and digital, including TMS and WMS. And yeah, I'm happy to be here. Mhm. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Hadi, for introducing yourself. It's great to have you here. And yeah, we're happy to know that you are our first Indonesian graduate of the program. So now let's go to Federico Catalano. Federico, welcome.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me. Nice to be here. I'm Federico, also Argentinian like Ale, GC logger of class 2014, so 11 years ago almost. I'm currently living in the Netherlands and working for RHI Magnesita, so in the steel industry and mining industry. RHI Magnesita is the global leader in refractories. So glad to be here to share my experience with all of you.
Thank you very much, Federico. So it has been a while since you graduated. But we are gonna be super happy to see like which is the type of impact that you have seen from the program on you. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
And now let's go to our faculty members. Let's start with Dr. Angie Acochella. Angie, please go ahead.
So I'm Dr. Angie Acochella. I'm a research scientist at MIT's CTL. I'm also part of Freight Lab. You can see my branding behind me. So my research is all in freight transport, moving anything from point A to point B. I work in procurement of freight transportation services as well. So in contracting and pricing, how do market dynamics impact the procurement decisions, things like that. For GCLOG, though, I also teach. So I'm a lecturer for GCLOG. I typically teach a case study of some kind. For example, I wrote a case with Wayfair on their transportation procurement services, and that whole process. So I teach that case. There's a couple other cases that I teach as well. And then I teach also kind of the A to Z of freight transportation as well.
That's great. Thank you very much, Angie. You have been doing a lot of contributions to our classes, and thank you for willing to share today, like what you have seen over the years that you have participated on the other side of the fence. Thank you. And let's go now to David Hidalgo. David, you have been playing many different roles. Go ahead, my friend.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. Yeah, I'm David Hidalgo. I do a lot of research. My research is focusing mainly on circular economy, servitization, sustainability, supply chains related. And I joke myself a little bit saying that I'm a living example of logistics because I have lived in 4 different countries and been part of the CTL network, the scale network for so many different centers. I'm still not giving up, often continue moving on. But yeah, I'm gonna be talking a little bit about my experience later. But yeah, I also teach for the GCLOG, usually sustainability, risk management, and other things that are necessary to be taught for the beautiful GCLOGers.
Thank you very much, Dave. And last but not least, let me pass the word to my friend, Joey Dorian. Joey, please introduce yourself.
How goes it, everybody? My name is Joey Dorian. I am the academic program specialist for the GCLOG program. I myself am originally from California, but have a Latin background from Guatemala and Mexico on my family. Very excited to meet all of you today, to hopefully work with some of you in the future. Just a couple of housekeeping notes. So we ask you that if you can just use the Q&A section for any questions. Towards the end of our panel, we are devoting about 15 to 20 minutes for open conversation to talk with our wonderful alumni and faculty. If anything does pop up, please feel free to message myself or Chris in the chat. Otherwise, we are very excited. We have a great session ahead of us.
Thank you, Joy. So I'm gonna take it over here in order to, to explain some general information about the GCLOG. So I promise to be very concise here. So first, I want to tell you what is, the eligibility criteria, and also what is the essence of the program. So who we are, basically, we are a program that is aiming to amplify the education in supply chain management for emerging market economy professionals, okay? So I know that probably you saw all of this in different media or directly in internet, but I want to make sure that you understand, like, what does this imply, okay? It implies not only that maybe you are born in one of the emerging market economies, but you might be also developing, business with those regions, and you want to literally understand and expand your knowledge on how to serve them better. That's actually what brought several of the former students also here, despite they have lived in different developed countries, okay? We call it a life-changing experience because this implies changing the mindset, changing the way that you, address the issues and the problems in logistics and supply chain management. So that's very important. And in terms of like what we provide, we offer an elite academic program that is able to, to train and educate outstanding professionals like you, and many others that the 450 graduates that we have can attest that. And typically what we request to the students is very simple. In order to be eligible for the program is these 3, or actually these 2 conditions. So first, you should have at least 3 years of working experience. That's very important. Internships do not count. We really want you to be like fully immersed in the work environment to make decisions and actually to take the full advantage and squeeze everything out of the GCLOG program. That's the way that we have found that you are able to get more out of the experience, okay? Second, so of course you should have completed your undergraduate studies, okay? There is no way that we can receive you without having those undergraduate studies completed, or your bachelor's, So bachelors of different kind, of course, many of them are related to supply chain management somehow. If you have questions, you can reach out to us, okay? And preferably, you can be enrolled in a graduate program. It can be, like a specialization. It can be another certificate. It can be an MBA. It can be a master's. It can be also a PhD sometimes, okay? Or recently graduated from one of them. So this is like the profile of the, the incoming students. So now let's talk about the program itself. So we have 4 modules, as you can see here. And these 4 modules are as follows. So we typically start by mid-May, and then we finish the whole adventure or the journey the last week of January, okay? So typically the classes, we call them the class of 2026. That is the one that is going to be graduating next year in January 2026, okay? So we are currently recruiting that class. And we have 4 modules, as you can see here. But the only modules at which you are going to be at MIT, this is very important for you to know, is this summer residential seminar of 3 weeks between the 2nd and the 4th week of July, and the January seminar that we call the Global Scale Connect Conference between the 2nd and the 4th week of January. These 6 weeks of residential experience are actually put together with some work that you need to do before coming to the program. That is a part that we call the GCX module. That's when you need to take like synchronous and asynchronous classes in order to, like brush up your knowledge in terms of supply chain management, with topics also related to optimization, statistics, inventory management, forecasting, et cetera, or in the case that you haven't received this content, is for you to build it up, okay? So this is 8 weeks of compulsory content, and then every weekend, literally every Friday, you will need to take a synchronous class of 2 hours each, where we're going to be not only solving questions of each of the weeks of content that we're going to be releasing in our platform, MITx, but it's also related to, for you to learn new content related to causal inference, related to other topics as well, okay? This typically goes between mid-May and early July. Once you, and hopefully you are able, like to get the approbatory grade, because you need to get at least 85 out of 100 of this first module, then we will welcome you to the second module, that is the summer residential seminar. During this period of time, is 3 weeks, you're going to be receiving classes of 3 or 3.5 hours each, and then you will, be able to ask your questions directly to the experts in supply chain management in logistics, like Angie, like David Hidalgo, like many others, Professor Yossi Sheffi, who is the director of CTL, or, like many other faculty members from MIT CTL. But we typically supplement that knowledge also with people coming from industry, or people coming from other universities that are developing applied research in Latin America, the Caribbean, in Southeast Asia, in China, in India, and in Africa too, okay? So that's the way that we configure it in order for you to squeeze as much value as possible, okay? So this goes between the 2nd and the 4th week of July, okay? And then once this period is finished, then you, and of course you will need to get an approval grade as well, then you will be able to return to your home countries, okay, and develop a capstone project. The capstone project is a 2 to 3 person team that is going to be, like tackling a specific problem from industry, from society, from an NGO, or from a government. So all of these problems are related somehow to a logistics issue that we typically provide to the students since June, in order for them to really understand what they would like to, like solve. They will be able to actually be part of a bid, both for their top 7, like priorities out of around 20 different projects. And then the idea is that they will be able, like to really get the ones that they probably will enjoy the most, okay? And this project is going to be co-advised by an MIT faculty member and an additional expert that can belong to the region that the project is being developed. We don't have projects only in Latin America. We have projects also in Africa and also in Asia. So this creates also the opportunity for you to enrich your knowledge, because you're going to be put together with talented people like you to solve this problem around the world. But as you can imagine, so this goes between August and December. So this is a 4.5 month, project. So we need to be very concise and very direct on the solution that we want to provide. And if you are able to get like good grades on the capstone project, you are going to be welcome to the last part of the experience. And in this last part of the experience, you're going to be joining our cohorts of students from other graduate programs that we have here at MIT, 80 students, the ones from China, other 40 around. And then we have also another center in the UK, another one in Zaragoza, Spain, another one in Luxembourg. And all of them together with the GCLOGers are going to be, like joining forces and coming here for this last 3-week residential experience to develop networking, to develop connections, to develop soft skills and leadership, as well as site visits, and be part of a kind of a hackathon, to solve supply chain problems all together, capitalizing on the multi-country, like attribute and multi-skill version of, what they want to do in order to solve this problem that is coming also from companies. So in total, this is a 9-month program. And then if you do well, at the end you will be able to graduate, okay? So what is the final part of it? So you're going to be graduating, of course, if you do a very good effort. And well, the invitation is for you to change your mind and elevate your logistics profile. So having said that, that's why we have these talented people here in front of you, for them to tell you a little bit more about it. This is our social media, by the way. You want to, like follow us, particularly LinkedIn is our best approach. So you want to scan it and, like stay tuned on everything that we do. That would be great. So now I'm going to pass the word to my colleagues, Angie and David, for them to tell you a little bit more about the content. So let me start with you, Angie, and I'm going to start sharing my screen.
Sure. Thanks. Yeah, so I started a little bit with the content that I share, but maybe I'll take a step back and talk a little bit more generally about how I approach teaching GCLOG and kind of the students. I know, Dave, you're going to probably also go into more general as well, because you're more involved in the whole scheme of the program. But I'll take a step back. So the typical GCLOG student tends to be a little bit more experienced of a kind of MBA level or a master's graduate level student than we might have here at MIT or at other business schools and things like that. And so the reason that I say that is because it really means that I can teach in a different way. So I can really lean on you guys and your experiences a lot more than I can with maybe the students that we have here in our master's program. So when I'm building the content that I teach in GCLOG, I'm thinking about, okay, how do I get you guys to think about your own experiences and then learn from each other? And so that's why I really love teaching cases with GCLOG, the business school cases. A little bit more background on myself. So I spent a few years actually working at Harvard Business School as a research associate, writing and developing teaching cases with companies and then having them taught in the HBS classroom, the Harvard Business School classroom. And so what's really fun about that is it's really an opportunity. We develop the content here really as an opportunity to get you guys discussing with each other. So specifically, like I said, there's one case that I wrote with Wayfair on their transportation procurement process. Then I give a whole lecture on the background of transportation, the industry in the US, how it differs. I also spent a few years working in the Netherlands. So how does, the European market versus the US market? Again, I rely on you guys from Latin America or Asia and Africa to give us a better sense of how does it work really in your part of the world. And so I teach that case and really kind of guide discussion so that you guys are all learning from each other. There's a couple other cases that I've taught on facility location decisions. I can get into things like, trends in transportation, technology, AI, different collaboration efforts. And so essentially what I do is I think about what's the research that I'm doing and how do I teach it to students that have a lot to also engage and offer to each other. And that's maybe I'll stop there and I can add more, but that's really what I try to get out of you guys, and so that you guys can learn from each other. So specifically, yeah, we can teach freight, transportation, procurement, facility location decisions. We can talk about some of the content that you'll learn in the fundamental online classes are, predictions and demand forecasting and inventory management and things like that. But once you have that foundation, how do we then really learn from each other and apply it to what you're going to go, how you're going to use it when you go out to your jobs afterwards.
Thank you, Angie. I think that what you have mentioned a moment ago resembles or actually matches a lot with the idea that many of the students have expressed to me in the past, that is like customize a little bit the typical content that we have to a more profession-oriented, tool or something like that. And what you just mentioned is actually what you are doing, right? Because differently from the other programs, something that characterizes the GCLOGers is that they have a more profession-oriented approach, right, Angie? So, and this is something that we value a lot. And that's the way, and that's why we also try to prepare all the classes in the same way to avoid repetition. This is more or less what Angie said. So, and thank you again, Angie, for your opinion here. So I'm gonna pass the word now to David. So David, go ahead.
Sure. Thank you, Chris. And just supplementing a little bit of what Angie already mentioned is we typically, and not only Angie's cases, but all of the lecturers that are able to teach the GCLOGers are taking advantage of the experience from the GCLOGers. And we are providing, like, as Angie mentioned, not only the insights from what is current on research, but mixing that with your experience. because we learn a lot from your personal experiences, from your work experience, and we understand that is very different, the approaches that you take depending on the region where you are located. And that helps us a lot to understand how can we deliver more precise education, more tighter education directly to what you intended to. That also implies that we are all the time taking advantage of, as we are researchers, and we try to explore the academic literature as well. We try to make use of the most recent tools to also include them in the teaching. For example, we use a lot of applied AI, and also we include a lot of sustainability topics, and not only about environmental, but also social and economic aspects of sustainability. So it covers a wide ranges of different topics, but most importantly, what we aim with this kind of education is that you are learning something that is practical, something that is useful, something that you can replicate easily in your companies, and that you can replicate easily within the different contexts that you have because of the different backgrounds that you're coming from. And that is providing you with additional sets of skills, because we rely a lot on soft skills, because a lot of collaboration is done during the different projects, during the different sessions. So it requires that you work a lot, that you improve. It's not only a marketing strategy, I'm going to say, but at the end of the experience, your life will be completely different. It's a completely life-changing experience. And I can attest that because I'm also a GCLOGer from 2016 graduation date. And since then, I've been involved with working with 3 different directors of the program. I don't know how many people have been able to work with as students, as lecturers, but it's always fascinating to see that we are delivering the highest education to the best professionals in the world that are taking advantage of the opportunity of being part of the GCLOG program.
Thank you very much, Dave. And to supplement that, and then I will pass the word to Ale, then to Hadi, and then to Fede. So get ready to show your slides and also your testimonial, guys. So we also offer it at an affordable price, you know. So to be honest with you, we always try to help, you know, like everyone to get not only the tuition waiver, that is a discount that we offer if you are coming from the top QS ranking in your corresponding region, or if your university has some kind of an agreement with MIT GCLOG or with MIT CTL. So we honor that, but we also grant different scholarships, and the scholarships are those that you're not gonna increase your debt, you know. So basically, we're gonna invest on you to come here, and a student typically pays around $6,000 to $7,000, including all the scholarships and everything. So give it a try, you know. So that's something that I also would like to emphasize. So now I would like to go, you know, like to Ale. So we're going to start the testimonials from our GCLOG alumni. So Ale, please take it over. You're on mute, by the way, Ale. So we can see
Now,
your screen.
yes. Now
we
yes.
can hear you. We just need to see your full presentation mode.
Yes.
Here we go.
Well,
Go ahead.
Well, I have to present my GCLOG experience and impact a lot. For me, it's very nice, this impact for me. The GCLOG is a great program for me, the best. Why I say that? Because some time ago, I was looking for a program that could take my career to the next level in logistics and supply chain management, because I have over 12 years of experience in logistics and supply chain management. That's when I discovered the GCLOG, and it turned out to me to be a life-changing experience for me. This program provides me with knowledge, networking, and opportunity that significantly shaped my professional journey. That I received significant professional and personal recognition for the GCLOG program. This is my photograph in the newspaper, And this is the recognition that give me the Córdoba city in Argentina, give me the recognition that outstanding personality because the GCLOG program. Yes. Lesson I learned and key takeaway for the GCLOG, practical knowledge and real world application. It is very important. The course GCLOG is not just theoretical. It provides me a lot of hands and experience solving complex supply chain challenge. A lot. That's why I have a learned leadership and adaptability. The program strongly my ability to lead in dynamic environments and adapt to different international markets. And networking for me is the key. The connection I made have been instrumental in my career progression. That this outstanding program has opened doors for me in many ways, a lot, such as becoming a professor in logistics and supply chain management at one of Argentina's top university, Universidad Nacional de Córdoba. I continue there, and I'm teaching production planning at a university in Madrid, Spain. And this, for me, this outstanding program have opened doors for me in many ways, including facilitating my professional career expansion in Europe. I worked as a supply chain director in Spain, and now I am in Croatia with exciting opportunity career. That's why if you have the chance, I strongly recommend taking this course. Yes, because it provides extensive knowledge, a global network, and a unique perspective in supply chain management. For me, GCLOG is not only the course, it's the accelerator for your career. It is very nice. And this is, you have to connect to me. This
is great. Thank you very much. You know, Ale, actually, you made me remind when I had the opportunity to graduate you, like that picture that you showed, right? By the way, she received a lot of acknowledgement also from her home country and her home city because she was actually like the best student of her class. So congratulations for that, Ale. And it doesn't surprise us that you are achieving too much. So in great part is actually also because of the discipline that you have. But great job, great job. So thanks for sharing your testimonial here. So now let's go to Hadi. Hadi, go ahead, my friend.
Yeah, yeah, thanks, Chris. So basically, so I know this program from LinkedIn, and then I contacted Chris directly, and then I remember like Chris was asking me, Hadi, why do you want to join this program? So it was like I still remember. It's like I told Chris that Chris, I said I think this program I saw this like an opportunity for me to expand my knowledge because currently I'm working in a third party logistic company, but I want also to gain my knowledge in the supply chain. So like especially in emerging market, like in South America and also Southeast Asia. But beside that, also I want to connect. Also, I think this is also for me the opportunity to connect with the all industries leader and also again a global perspective view because I was working also during this program with the peers from different country, from different countries, especially from the South America. So, and I have to say this program has been a total game changer for me. And then the impact my career, beside that, in the last 2 months, I was contacted by 14 headhunters. Now, it's just for your information. so, basically, first, it gave me the direct access to cutting edge supply chain research and best practice from MIT, which I've already have also applied in my job. But beyond the technical knowledge, I think the programs really sharpen my strategical thinking and also my leadership skill. As you know, like you will learn a lot of case studies and then discussion with the MIT professors, and also to export to the global perspective and have completely changed how I tackle all the issue at work. Yeah, but honestly, see, if you would ask me what's the biggest impact for me is the networking, because I get to work with with different people. I learned from the peers from many of them is from South America. I think I was the only from Southeast Asia. We have some peers from Africa and also from Middle East, but I was the only from Asia, which was like eye-opening, and then understanding like the way of working, the challenges, how they set the issue in emerging market, like how to solve the problem, actually has been incredible valuable for me, especially since I work in the global company. So yeah, so this is really good, and also the experience, like a GCLOG program is not just about the attending the lecturers, but also it's an experience for you. So you get to interact with the top MIT professor, and also collaborate with a professional from different industries I mentioned, and also the visit companies that I like it so much, like especially during the visit companies. So I had a chance to visit Delta Airline, and also the one of the technological company that I use also in my current company, the robotic. I love it so much. And then this is one of my favorite moment is definitely the case study from MIT CTL professor. I love it so much. So we have like some discussion with the faculty, some amazing industry visit, and also yeah, as I mentioned, this is also the network that you are surrounded by the different professional from all over the world, and then also each bring like unique perspective and insight. Like some of them they are working in the different industries, so it's really good. And then the connection that I made here are not just professional. Actually, they are like friendship, and then we did a lot of collaboration, and then yeah, I believe that will last a lifetime. And then the last one maybe like why I pick GCLOG is I choose GCLOG because I wanted something like very practical. So very practical and then global and directly connected to the industry. Yeah, since I'm working in the logistics and supply chain company. And one of the biggest highlight for me was as I said, working on the real industry data for my capstone project. And then just want to share that I won one of the best capstone project in my cohort, and also supply chain challenge project. For example, we had a chance to work with different industry. So that's why I choose. So another one maybe, but not more than that. I want to also to learn from my peers also, because I said they are coming from different background, and especially from the emerging market. So I want to understand the challenges they are facing, how they are tackling the problem. Yes.
Thank you, Hadi.
That's
So
all.
it's great, like to have this from you, because speaking about like the networking, that's something that also Ale mentioned is very important, because you create a family, right? And and yes, so kudos for your great, like job getting like the best capstone project of the GCLOG program. You did a very, very nice job. So thank you for sharing your testimonial. And it's also great, like that you were able to see how we are trying to enrich as well the connection with other, regions, because you are part of it, right? And if
Yes.
you remember, we are trying, like to make sure that everybody understands that the challenges that exist in Southeast Asia, in Africa, and in Latin America are pretty similar, but with different circumstances. So this is great that you are elaborating on that, Hadi.
Yeah,
So
especially in January, maybe because I didn't mention, like we had a chance in January. We had a chance to work with I think people from 5 different continents. I was working with the Chinese colleagues, and also from America, also from Europe, from South
right.
America. So it was really good.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Hadi. So let's go to our last GCLOG alumni panelist. Oh, perfect. So you can share a screen. That's great. Go for it, Federico.
Yes, let me put it in presentation mode. So can you see the screen well? Big?
Yes, but not in full presentation mode. So now we can see it. Great. Go ahead.
Now it's better? Okay, excellent. So,
sorry, Federico. You will need to swap it. You go to display settings and then swap the screens. Exactly.
There you go. It's better?
Yes. Yeah, now it's working. Thank you.
Excellent. All right. So let's get started. So thank you for having me again. For me, a little bit of a background first. As I mentioned before, I started my career 20 years ago back in Argentina. I did the GCLOG back in 2014 after my graduation as an MBA in Torcuato di Tella in Buenos Aires. I got to know this program, and immediately I thought it was a good idea to onboard on this nice journey. And to be honest, I think one of my first reflections at that point was like, okay, how many key choices we make in life. I don't know, maybe 20, 30, I don't know, you make your assessment. For me, this for sure was one of those key decisions that I have made, not only professionally, but also later on the personal life as well. It has a lot of impact. So I will go through one of the main milestones on why I believe that this is one of the key choices I've made in life, right? So first of all, because one of the reflections point for me was on choosing this program. Supply chain and logistics are basically global disciplines, right? So you cannot become a great leader in this field without staying in the comfort zone of your country, your region, or the area in which you're impacting nowadays. You really need to go outside, test yourself, understand what is happening in the world, step out, take risk, take challenge. And I think GCLOG is one of those programs in which you will get that kind of exposure. It's a very good, I would say, calibration exercise if you want to test yourself as a global leader in supply chain or logistics. My second point here, I think pedigree and credentials are still very important. I don't know, maybe nowadays we still have in companies people leading which are coming from the 70s, the 80s, and they often place a lot of weight into where you have studied, the programs that you have completed, the companies that you have worked for. So I think it's not a guarantee of success, for sure not. You will be asked to deliver results and you will be tested for that in the future. But I think it can be a game changer in terms of your employability, your salary growth over time, and then to have MIT credentials for sure is not something that gets unnoticed, I would say. My third point is on the network. I think it was mentioned before. I think one of the key elements of the program, to keep it very short, I have seen classmates landing dreams jobs after this program. You will get a lot of good connections here. So take every chance to build your network and work on that as good as you work in your capstone and in your tests and assignments that you have. The network part of it is invaluable. Next point for me is on the learning from top leaders, and we have Angie here and Chris and some others. I think, but not only that, for me is the interaction with top leaders participating in the program. So you will get a lot out of the experience, conversations, case that you analyze together with your peers. So the group discussion happening in the classroom is top, good value. So another key point for me on this experience. Next is the program and the incredible hand-on experiences. So I don't know what is now inside of the content of this year, but I remember we went to Thompson Island for a nice leadership exercises. We went to see the Panama Canal. We went to a warehouse of Amazon to see an automated, warehouse. We went to breweries. We did a lot of nice activities. Competitions with Apex, beer game simulation, you name it. A lot of nice, very nice interactions and experiences. Then for me, we have Angie here as a PhD, also Chris, and so on. For me, back in Argentina, I think that probably less than 1% of the population of Argentina holds a PhD. So it was a completely game changer in my way of learning, thinking, and seeing really how important it is to have this exposure to good teachers, good professors who combine deep knowledge, cutting-edge methodologies on how to solve issues, but also how to teach. And it was so inspiring, and it's really hard to go back to lower levels of education after this program. And finally, the ROI, right, is not less important. I think it's incredible. You mentioned, Chris, is a all-in-all 9-month program for whatever, 2010, depending on if you apply or not to those potential discounts there. It's a lifelong network and value that you will get forever. So you will look back 10 years from now and you will say, okay, it was very good investment. So I really, really encourage you to do it. And last but not the least, a little bit of pictures of nice moments there. Again, good examples of all what I touch base on my 5 minutes. Good professors, good experiences, good fun, some trips, and so on and so forth. So absolutely, I encourage you to apply and to go for it.
Thank you very much, Federico. So it's impressive that in 5 minutes you were able to cover all the bases and actually to show so many amazing pictures. So congratulations for your journey. This is actually the first time that I know the whole journey from Federico. So it's impressive what you have been able to achieve. And the points I think that would be super useful for our attendees here to make a decision on. But now it's time to, switch gears here. So I will pass the word and the mic to my colleague, Joy Dorian. So Joy, take it over, please.
All right, everybody. So lots of wonderful content that we just received from our panelists, from some of our faculty. The next 12 to 15 minutes we want to devote to you. So this was an informative panel. You've heard from some of our wonderful colleagues. Please feel free to either directly message me questions. I'm getting a couple through the chat. Chris, we actually have one from Ankur. So I have already completed the online program under the MicroMasters. Does it make sense for me to take the GCLOG route?
Oh, this is a great question. So as a MicroMasters credential holder, you have a couple of options, right? One of them is to go through the blended master's program, and the other one is to go to us, right? So the difference, I think that now is pretty clear. So you are looking for something more profession oriented, where you are able, to grasp, the tools and the practical content in a quicker way. So this would be your best option, because it's the best of both worlds, and also, at the end, this is a subsidized program that has another focus. So if you are more into it, that would be great. If you want to, deep dive more onto certain content to have a full immersive experience of 5 months, probably blended program would be the best. I want to be fair on this, but it's you the one who should make the decision, okay? So hopefully I answered your question, Ankur.
And then it looks like another one that maybe some of our panelists could answer. So this student is curious about life in Boston. So they're looking for an international program. They're not sure if they can commit a full year to moving out of their home country, but they've been interested in the US. So what was it like being in Boston for those 2 different periods?
Federico.
It was amazing experience. Very short on my side. Summer, great, of course. Nice warm weather to go outside and to live in the campus as well. It was great. I have nice memories of having a fire at the campus on MIT, and the Burman, the firemen coming into the building. It was a mess. All of us out 3 a.m. in the morning. But well, apart from that thing, it was an amazing experience. Great to do. It's not that expensive. Again, just put it in perspective of life. It doesn't matter now. You will get the money. Try to do so with friends, family, and also with MIT. You will enjoy a lot. And then winter is tough as well. One of my pictures was showing feels like minus 34. That was a screenshot that I took from my phone. Charles River completely frozen. So yeah, amazing experience.
Thank you, Fedi. Ali or Hadi, anything else that we would like to add about life in Boston?
Yeah, I can share something because it's fresh. It's just 2 months ago I was in Boston. So basically, those 2 residential program, they have different. I would say they have. I would say this different perspective. Like in summer, you're gonna work with a lot of different peer mostly from emerging markets. So we most of the time we work together with emerging market, but in and of course, it was really nice. This is in summer, so you're gonna spend time with them. Yeah, because normally, in the last 3 months, you know them only online, right? Only online. It was blinded program, so you don't know them. But when you met in summer, it was really nice. You can spend time with them. Beside also that, of course, enjoy the Boston, but also you're gonna enjoy also the program. You're gonna work with them in the different project. But in winter, it's totally also different. It was in the global network, so you're gonna work with different people from different country, different continent. It's totally different, and you're gonna work also with the different project. So yeah, but when we are talking about Boston, it was always it's totally different within summer and winter.
Thank you, Hadi. So moving right along, this is maybe for Chris, David, or Angie. So this student is curious, how do you update content? If the focus is on emerging economies, how do we stay current to either AI, to digital disruption, to global conflicts? What is the process maybe for how you change curriculum year to year?
I can add how I think about it. So, first I think about what are the fundamentals that I want to teach. That's not going to change year to year, right? Like the fundamentals of, freight transportation, or even current topics like sustainability. A lot of the, like, how do you measure scope 3 emissions, things like that. The fundamental content you'll learn doesn't really change year to year. But I'm always updating my lecture piece of it based on the research I've been doing recently. And the research I'm doing recently is with companies that are coming to me with problems that they need solved, right? So that's when I talk about bring up research projects that are kind of the, identifying examples of how, procurement, for example, leads into research. It's all relevant new research because it's what companies are coming to me today with. And then the second way is I also typically spend some time looking at or exploring current trends in X, whatever topic I'm teaching. So that's where I'm also bringing in, maybe there isn't current research on this, but when I go to industry panels or when I'm talking with practitioners, these are the topics that are coming up. In my field, there's a lot of startups that are always starting up. So on different, trying to handle or tackle really small pieces of the problem. And so I also kind of talk about them as well. AI is part of everything we do now, not just in one, how we even do our work, but also how it's being applied to different pieces of the supply chain and logistics. So, we typically try to make sure that there's a solid enough part of our time that we're teaching that is on new research coming in and/or just relevant topics that we hear about. Because what's nice about being at CTL, and you may or may not know very much about how we function, but we have partner companies. And so we have companies coming to campus. In fact, next week we have our annual Crossroads event where a bunch of companies come to campus, talk about relevant topics. So we tend to have access to, very luckily, a lot of companies coming to us talking about the research or the problems that they're working on. And so we can bring them up in our classroom as well.
Yeah, just to supplement that a little bit, and thanks, Angie, because it was very, very well thought what you mentioned, is that we don't only focus on special markets or markets that are developed. The good thing is, as being part of CTL and the Scale Network, it's global. And as Federico was mentioning, a thing about supply chain management is that you need to understand this from a global perspective. So that's what we do. We have different universities that we partner, that we work with, different colleagues from different regions. So we try to keep our content the most relevant, but also the most fresh and impactful, everywhere, all around the place.
Awesome. Thank you, Dave. And then, Ankur, I believe we have a follow-up question related to the MicroMasters and GCLOG. So, Chris, do you want to tackle that one?
Yeah, why not? Thank you very much, Joey. So thank you for the question, Ankur. So for micro master's credential holders, we have the following options. So the first module of the GCLOG program that is called the GCX is going to be waived for you if you completed your MicroMasters in the last 3 years, okay? So if it was like further than that, we can discuss about like what you should or not take. But just to be explicit, so you completed the MicroMasters in the last 3 years, we're going to waive the asynchronous content, that is the one at the MIT X platform, but you should still take the synchronous content, okay? The live events or the calls that we have every Friday. That would be like the deal here. And therefore, you're going to receive also like a 15% discount, given that you are not taking like the first part, again, if you meet the conditions that I just said, right? Thank you for the question.
Awesome. And then, great question, Ankur. Dave, maybe this one could be more specific for you. What do the synchronous classes on each Friday cover during the in-person component?
Sure. We cover a lot of different topics, and as Angie was mentioning, there are some basics that go year to year. And I'm going to refer to those basics that are the ones that are mandatory or necessary for you to get the best out of it when you are in campus. But also bear in mind that some additional content is always bring to keep it relevant. So among the basic ones is causal inference. We have also optimization using Groovy. We have also inventory, advanced inventory, and we do run a couple of case studies to understand how this is taught in person. So that would be like in general what we have year after year. But then some other content changes over the years. So I would say that these are the four main components, and then the rest are under discretion.
No, that's great to know, Dave. Thank you. And then I think we have time for maybe one or two more questions. So this student, maybe general open up for the panel. How has GCLOG impacted your post-MIT life? They're asking about job opportunities. They're asking about salary increases. How has GCLOG, as we've talked about, changed your perspective on your work life or personal life, whatever we feel comfortable?
I can take that one. So in my case, again, I think there is a first payback which is immediately coming, which is having that credential, but then you need to prove results, right? And especially now it's coming more and more, I think, into something, okay, show me the value of those credentials. So you also need to keep working to show the value and all that you have learned. That's the very first topic. So you won't get a raise in salary. You won't get your next, step in your career just by taking this, right? Let's put it black and white.
Right.
So, but then it's opening up in you a lot. It's sparking a lot of energy and, ideas and opening up perspectives that will make you a better professional. So eventually in the course of probably, in my case, it was like 3 years, I changed. I was like mainly working in Argentina. Then I moved to the Netherlands. That's why I was showing that picture early, in which I opened up my career to outside Argentina. And from there, you start taking different directions, right? But for sure, it will have an impact in your development, in how you grow your career, leveraging your knowledge and your delivery at the same time. But nothing is for granted, right?
Awesome. Thank you, Fede. And then maybe one more response from Dave. Maybe if you want to speak on this, since you've been with the program, you've been a student, you're a TA, how have you seen GCLOG impact life?
Wow. That's a very loaded question, to be honest.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
In my personal case, prior to GCLOG, and so I was born in Ecuador, then I moved to Colombia, and then I met the kind of the scale network. Then I joined the GCLOG, then I moved to the US, and I moved to Zaragoza, and now I'm living in Madrid. So it has moved me all around the place on a personal level. Also, it gave me a lot of different tools on the research part, and also I've been able to work not only on research, but also in different settings, like translating the books from Professor Yossi Sheffi, working with a lot of different students and professors from all around the world, being able to build, I would say, a strong network that could be beneficial not only for me, but for colleagues or people that are interested into the program. And then I would put that out, that is my personal perspective. Now, on the things that I have seen over the years, I've seen a lot of students coming in, and then I'm always happy to see how their life changes after they have returned to their home countries. As Federica mentioned, it's not a straight warranty that once you return, nothing is a warranty, to be honest. It's not a straight warranty that once you go back, suddenly your salary is going to jump up, or that you might not get fired. Life happens, things happen. So you need to understand that it's not a direct consequence, but it's an enabler, because that what is going to help you is, now that you have your network, you're going to take advantage of the network. You're going to take advantage of the knowledge that you have. And based on that, you will make different life decisions, and you will prove your worth for that company or for another company, and they will be happy and lucky to have you. So that is how I have seen the impact that students have had. A few that I was able to be the TA for all over the years pursue different career paths. A few changed careers, a few changed countries, a few changed continents, a few had began their doctoral studies. So has been a lot of different impacts in so many levels. And I would say that I have known even people that got married because they were not necessarily because they were part of the GCLOG, but met somebody that along the network, well, something clicked and had life happen. So it's a life-changing opportunity in so many different levels.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dave. So we want to again thank everyone for coming and for being able to join us today. We're going to wrap up right now. So these are final comments from our panelists, from our faculty. I will say, as the newest member after Hadi, I'm very excited to be working with this program. I'm incredibly excited about the opportunities that are being given to students and to entrepreneurs, and I look forward to hopefully joining some of you in this summer. So I'll hand it over to Chris.
Thank you very much, Joy, also for moderating this part of the conversation. So I would like to pass the word to give some final remark, call to action, or something to Angie, then to Dave, and then we will go to the former GCLOGger. So Angie.
Yes, thank you. So I think first thing is that I'll say this, and I'm not just saying this because we're on this webinar. GCLOG students are some of my favorite to teach. There's a lot of energy. There's a lot of excitement. I think, you know, my one kind of word of wisdom maybe is to try. So little background, very brief background on myself. You know, I applied to MIT to do my master's and then subsequently my PhD. I never thought I could go to MIT, right? And I just decided, why not? I found a program that was really exciting to me, and I said I might as well apply. And I ended up getting in, and it's completely changed the trajectory of my life, my career. So, you know, there's no harm in applying. It could be the best decision of your life.
Thank you for the amazing words. Appreciate it, Angie. David, let's go to you, my friend.
Sure. As Angie already mentioned, you already have the no, because if you decide not to apply, you already have the no. So the invitation is wide open. Just make sure that you are really interested into the program and that you read everything that is available online that the program has. If you have questions, we're happy to solve them, but also make sure that you are really, as Angie mentioned, you really want this, because it's going to be a life-changing opportunity. As same as Angie, I'm an aeronautical engineer. Like, I had nothing related to logistics when I was studying my undergrad, and now I am like everything about logistics and including aerospace engineering. So life changes, and yeah, it's an open invitation. It's an open opportunity. It's going to be very impactful in the end, and I'm looking forward to see many of your applications as well.
Thank you very much, Dave. So I will pass the word to Ale, then to Hadi, and then to Federico, and then we will wrap up. Ale?
Okay. Well, I say again, GCLOG for me is not only a program or course. It is really accelerator for your career and a gateway to incredible professional opportunity. A lot. I say I not only live in Argentina, but I live in Chile, Uruguay, Brazil, Mexico, and Uruguay, and then I live in Spain, in Barcelona, Valladolid, and now I live here in Croatia. I have a lot of opportunity that give me.
Thank you very much, Ale. So you're looking forward to traveling, so this is also a great opportunity for your internationalization, right? Hadi, please go ahead.
Yeah, if I could give just one piece of advice for the future, I don't know, candidate or GCLOG participants, I think make the most of the network and enjoy the process. And then it was what I experienced. And then, as I said, the people that I met during the program, they are not only industry leaders, but also they are innovators and also they are future decision maker. So as I said, it's like it was a good collaborations, not only in the classroom, and then so yeah. And also the GCLOG also has been informative experience for me, both professionally and also personally. And then if you are considering joining, I highly encourage you to go for it. It's an investment that will pay off in a way that you cannot even predict yet.
Thank you very much, Adi. So great ideas, great words. Fede, last but not least, my friend. Well, I'm actually done. Good.
Thank you, Chris. No, so just a comment from my side. I think we need to reflect as well on how many chances we will get in the future to stop all what we are doing and go there for 3 weeks in July, 3 weeks in June. Enjoy that energy. Focus on what you like, learning in the best business schools with good, leaders around. Is an amazing opportunity. So just take it.
Thank you, Fede, for the word. So it has been incredible to have each and every one of you. So thank you very much, Fede, Ale, Hadi, and of course also to David, Angie, and Joy. So, and my last words to you, dear attendees, is give it a try. Literally, I invite you to give it a try. I think that most of the times we believe that MIT is something unreachable, something impossible, but actually something that we are trying to do with this program in particular is to make sure that you understand that dreams can come true. It just depends on a click. It just depends on you, and you are worth it. And we need to make a difference. We need to challenge the status quo and come back to our home regions to make a difference, And look at these amazing, like histories. So you might be one of them in the future. So give it a try. Thank you very much, everyone. It has been incredible. It's great. Really looking forward to having many of you, like dear attendees, applying to the program and keep increasing this amazing family that we have, because more than 450 alumni members, we have a big family, and that's the way we treat it. Thank you again, guys. So having said that, all have an amazing rest of your day, independently where you are at in the world. And hopefully we see your applications coming soon. Okay? Thank you.